What is up, y'all? Happy Sunday afternoon. This is John B, aka Smooth Hot Chocolate here. Come with you with a review for Goosebumps number 34, Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. Now, before I get into the actual review, I got something I got to announce for this book. I actually read this whole book when I was at work. Usually when I read my Goosebumps books, I read them when I'm at home, sometimes at work, sometimes at home, sometimes on my way to work, but this whole book I read at work. Amazing as it is, until now for the review. So once again, not a big deal, but something interesting for me anyway. Now, when it comes to Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes here, I have to say that this is a book that I know about, and I like it for the most part, but it's got some flaws to it, though. I'm going to get into those flaws right now, actually. When it comes to Buster, the dog that Joe has, I have to say that there could have been a lot of ways to prevent problems if they had have made a fence for Buster to be penned in, so that way he couldn't go into Miss McCall's garden to ruin his vegetables and stuff. And also, some people say Miss McCall's a bit of a prick. I don't really think so, because he's only defending his property, which he has a right to do. You know, they just should just find some way to just have his Joe's dog Buster be penned in, so that way he couldn't be going into the other yard going after vegetable stuff. That's just my opinion. Um, when it comes to the lawn gnomes, actually, there's really no explanation as to why, when it gets to the way the ending, why the dog whistle was the only thing that was actually able to stop the lawn ornaments from causing havoc. It's never explained, but when it comes to Goosebump logic nowadays, it's really irrelevant now, and it's not even worth even trying to think about it anymore. It's just something that just happens, and just, books written, I guess, move on, whatever. Even though I kind of feel the end was a bit rushed, that's just my opinion too. Uh, when it comes to the TV series that was adapted from the book, actually, um, which I gotta say, I think it came out back in '96, and I was only 13 at that time. I was born in '83. Yeah, it was about '96, I guess. Um, I did check out the book too, and the key things missing from the book were Joe's best friend, which was Moose, and the busted dog. The busted dog. Word swap. No, the dog Buster, because he's actually like a big point of the story, because he gets punished for going into the garden and eating his stuff, and even gets blamed for something that he actually didn't do, but because his problems before led up to right now, he's gonna be like a suspect actually. You know, so the TV series misses some key things in there too, but not that bad of a not bad of a watch still anyway. Uh, One other thing I really don't like about the book is the title. It's supposed to be Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. Now I have to ask you, what are you getting revenge for? I mean, there's a chapter where the gnomes, cry about them being captured and kidnapped and shipped to slavery and stuff like that. But it's all just a ruse to get Joe and his friends to go down to the basement so they could have the whole mob of gnomes just come up and just torture him for no reason at all, which is not revenge. It's the same thing where it comes to Revenge of the Living Dummy, which I haven't read my channel just yet. But if you know about that book and you know about Ethan, that little shit for brains in there too, you know for exactly what I'm talking about, because I feel so bad for Brittany of all the stuff she had to go through with that kid. It's just not even worth it. Uh, but also too with Living Dummy, with Slappy, he is just, he can get revenge on his past owners, but Brittany doesn't even know anything about him up in that point. So once again, why are you getting revenge for something that the people you try and get revenge on have nothing to do with? It's just freaking weird to me. I don't know. I don't know. Um, I kind of find some kind of problem with this book too when it comes to like when Joe gets grounded for doing something that he really didn't do when it came to McCall's Casabas being vandalized. Is when he wants to walk Buster and he goes to his mom asking him to walk the dog, and then she just says, "Of course not. You're grounded." So wait, so the dog may take a piss and a crap, but you're gonna just have the kid be there, and what are you doing? Oh, she's actually looking at some paint supplies for their house. What the hell? It's like, why bother even having a dog in the house if you're not gonna take care of it? It's just so weird. But also, another part is when Joe finally does get permission to walk Buster. they talk about that the Buster has the intelligence to not eat the chocolate chips of the ice cream that he buys for him. Now, dogs are very smart. I'm not going to say they're not smart at all because they are. But just because a dog cannot have chocolate doesn't mean that a dog will not still get the chocolate if they could. So, why would you write that in a book when it comes to, the Buster avoid the chocolate chips and stuff? Because dogs can still get that stuff if they wanted to. And when it comes to ice cream too, which I didn't even know anything about being bad for dogs either, was something kind of found misleading too. Like saying they can drink milk and ice cream. I had no idea it was actually bad for their stomach though. So it's like a bit of a misleading fact about or misleading fact about how dogs could take in what they could take in and stuff without really looking into it. So that's what like a bad point about the book too actually. Um, what I do like about the book, however, is how when the Lawn Gnomes finally do get spotted out, I kind of like how they get introduced and stuff at first. And, with it's kind of hard to prove anything about how lawn gnomes can do anything because they're lawn ornaments. What can they do? Save when it comes to Slappy. And Ventriloquist dummy. But I kind of like when it comes to the Ventriloquist dummy part that whoever is controlling it is not really controlling it. But they want to think that, well, you have the thing in your hand here. Like, for example, I have here, my squirrel bunny here, for example, here. Yes, I'm in the Pokemon. I got, which is RC as well, too, as you know. But it's kind of like saying I have him, like, behind his head, okay? And he talks all of a sudden. But I know you can throw your voice, but it has to sound really different in order for the sound like that he's talking here. So it's like, how can you just assume that the kid is saying all these things, even though the kid is not only not really saying any things that the dummy is supposedly saying, but you have to move the controls in the back here to make it seem like he's talking. So it's kind of weird as to how the parents can, just assume that the kid's doing everything, but they're right in front of them. So what the hell? There you go, Squid Bunny. Thank you for being a Kim and guest my video. So yeah. So with that being said, so for the flaws that the book has, I'm not going to say the book is a terrible read because it's not. It's actually a pretty decent read actually. But I wish there was a little bit more explained when it came to the ending because, once again, how is a dog whistle going to be able to freeze up all the gnomes that's around there? And not only that, this Lawn Lovely, the store where Joe's father bought the gnomes from, seemed to be a place where they keep enchanted lawn ornaments. Because as soon as he gets a new one to replace the gnomes that were stolen, the gorilla in the end, it all of a sudden winks at Joe. So it's like, why? Oh, I wish there could have been something about that, but we'll probably never know. It's just one of those one and done book rights, and after that, next book after that, which is of course a shocker on Shock Street, which I have too, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna read that book on my channel yet. If you want me to, let me know. It's a pretty surprising, story with that too. Alright guys, so with the review here, it's not really much of a review, it's kind of like my personal thoughts about the book and, flaws with it and stuff, but once again, because something has flaws with it doesn't mean it's totally bad, it's just something that could have been actually ironed out more when it was still in development. But, with that being said, I, consider the book a decent read if you want to check it out, or check my whole, read of the book too, which I did all at work, by the way, too. It's surprising if I haven't took time to do that. Alright guys, also I want to say too, on a quick note, that I made a bit of a little tiny snafu. Back in 2019, I did the read of I Live in Your Basement, and one of my friends told me that I hadn't posted a chapter 24 of the book. And I thought I had, because I had made a video for chapter 23 saying between for chapter 24, and come to find out, he was right. So, I don't know what happened that time. I guess I probably just went too fast with my work, and I just kind of skipped over that chapter for some reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post chapter 24. I'm going to have to actually read it on my channel again. It probably got deleted by someone, I guess, or YouTube probably wanted to be YouTube, I guess. I have no idea. But in any case, I'm going to reread the chapter again, and then I'm going to, soon this week, post a playlist of every chapter of that book, so you can see it too if you want to. And I'm also planning to reread Night of the Living Dummy, because back in 2017, where I did my actual first Goosebump read ever, and YouTube wanted to be YouTube even back then, I lost all my content, and now I have to try to, start from scratch, at least whatever I can from chapters 1 to about 11, and then the end of the book after the other chapters currently on my channel as well too. So it's kind of like I'm doing a after, before, and after in that chin. It's kind of weird. It's like looking at my former. It's like looking at my former self, my younger self, doing my read back then too, and then now I'm in my late 30s, and I'm just doing the rest of the book after that point. It's just so weird. But anyway, I don't like leaving things incomplete, so I'm gonna go ahead and complete for you guys. Alright, everyone, that's been the review for Revenge of the Lawn Gnomes. And I'm going to do my new breed, which would be Attack of the Graveyard Ghouls, which is going to take place around the middle of February. I want to say right after Valentine's Day. This is going to be the start for Chapter 1 of Attack of the Graveyard Ghouls. Alright, everyone, take care, be safe, have a great week, and above all, stay cool, guys. Or in my case, stay smooth.